Hello and welcome to the floor warden training for the 1201 3rd Avenue building for 2020. My name is Dwayne Dennis with Urban Life Safety, and I'm here today to take you through your training. Here are the objectives we have for this training today. I'm going to talk about why your role as a floor warden is vital to the safety of everyone in the building. I'm also going to give you an idea of your role and your responsibilities in regards to life safety. I'm going to talk about why it's important for you to build a strong life safety team to help support you in your role as a floor warden. And I'm also going to give you some tips that will hopefully make your job as a floor warden a little bit less stressful. So let's talk about why your role as a floor warden is so important. Large office buildings pose special challenges in regards to life safety. They're tall and they're very complex. They're basically tall mazes. And what we put into these tall mazes is lots of people. You can see the life safety implications of this situation. The problem that we have is that not everyone who comes into the building knows the maze. They do not know the safety procedures. So it's important that there is a system in place that ensures that in an emergency, they are guided and kept safe. The building authorities and the fire department have moral, ethical, and legal obligations to the safety of everyone who enters the building, but they cannot ensure the safety of everyone themselves. They need your help. The role of a floor warden is vital to ensure safety. You are a critical member of the life safety team. Basically, floor wardens are group managers. Group management for people on a good day can be a challenge, but you as a floor warden are not going to be managing people on a good day. You are going to be an emergency manager, which means that you are going to be managing people like this, a group of people under stress. It is the single greatest management challenge there is, because people, when they feel frightened, sometimes don't make the best decisions if not properly managed. So let's talk about human behavior in emergent situations so that we know how to properly guide people when they feel in danger. There's a critical role, a critical ingredient in groups that help to ensure that the group stays focused and on task. You are going to be providing that critical ingredient, that critical role, and that role is the strong leader. You are going to be managing a group of people under stress, ensuring that they stay together, that they stay focused. So let's talk about dealing with groups who are under stress. When people feel in danger, they tend to go into what's called a core personality. And in general, there are three different types of personalities that present in emergencies. I call these people controllers, folders, and followers. Let's talk how we manage each one of these types of people. First of all, there's the controller. These are people who simply do not like to be told what to do in almost any situation. These people need to be managed. You cannot give a controller a reason not to listen to you as the emergency manager. Then you have the folder. These are people who just are not psychologically equipped to deal with the unexpected. The problem is that we cannot schedule our emergencies. Some people do not like to deal with things that are not scheduled. These people could panic, flail, fold, cry inconsolably in the corner if they're not properly managed. Then you have the follower. Most of your group will probably fall into this category, at least initially. Most people in an emergency are not trying to take over, at least yet. And initially, most people aren't panicking, yet. What happens in an emergency is that you, as the floor warden, will be undergoing an audition. And the role you're going to be auditioning for is this role, the role of emergency leader. You need to know what you're doing in order to pass this audition. The good news here is that you do not need to treat each one of these different types of people differently. There is a one-size-fits-all management style that works for all different personality types, and that management style is the strong leader. A strong leader gives controllers no excuse to take over. A strong leader comforts the folders, and everybody stays a follower. Your role as a floor warden comes with a tremendous amount of responsibility. Anytime somebody has responsibility, there comes with it potential liability. Let's talk about the legal liability implications of your role as a floor warden. The state of Washington has written a very clear, very strong law that protects you from civil liability in regards to your duties as a floor warden. It's called the Revised Code of Washington, RCW 4.24, also known as the Good Samaritan Law for floor wardens. What this law basically states is that as long as you act in a good, effective manner and you have good, solid reasons for your behaviors, you will not be held liable for any unfortunate incidences that occur during your actions as a floor warden. Let's talk about your role and your responsibilities in a fire alarm activation. The 1201 3rd Avenue building has what's known as a zoned fire alarm system. What this means is that in an emergency, only a portion of the building is evacuated or relocated. If there's an activation on a floor, only a few select other floors are affected. You will be guiding the evacuation process in this situation. Before an activation, it is important for you to plan and prepare. If you plan and prepare prior to an activation, the activation itself should go fairly smoothly. You need to become somewhat of a safety expert in regards to the life safety systems and programs in the building. You should know your floor plan of your floor, hiding places where people need to be discovered so they can be guided to safety, the route to the stairwells, how they are named, and you should be familiar with the life safety systems of the building. And you definitely need to know the evacuation plan very, very well, because you're going to be in charge of the evacuation plan. You need to make yourself known to everyone who is regularly in your area and the other floor wardens, especially on your floor and maybe on your receiving floor if you're going to be sheltering within the building. It's important to make yourself identifiable during an emergency. A vest is a very powerful way to show that you are, first of all, the floor warden and that you need to be listened to. It's important to ensure that the non-ambulatory list is current. If you have anyone on your floor who you feel would not be able to descend the stairwell safely, they need to be put on a list with the property management group that can be given to the fire department in an emergency so that we can account for these people if we know they're staying on a floor in alarm. It's important for you to recruit your assistants and instruct them in their duties. First of all, no one who works in the building gets a free ride. Everyone has a role to play in safety and is a member of the safety team. There are 5 different roles that need to be filled other than the floor warden to ensure the safety of everyone in the building and so that they can be relocated effectively. You may need searchers, stairwell attendants, non-ambulatory attendants, messengers, and deputy floor wardens. Let's talk about searchers for a moment. If you have an area that is reasonably complex, that you would not be able to search yourself in mere moments, then give a searcher this area. You may need one, you may need several, depending on the size of your area. You assign a person an area, hopefully an area that they're familiar with, and you instruct them that as long as it's safe, that they just automatically, in an alarm, go and search and sweep this area. They should close doors behind them, but not lock them. Once they've searched their area, they need to find you, you're that flashing red dot, as a floor warden, and report to you their findings, and then they can exit the floor to the place of assembly. So why do we close interior doors but not lock them? Well, we want to close doors to compartmentalize any potential danger, such as a fire. So we want to compartmentalize any fire, heat, toxic gas, or smoke. But we want to keep the door unlocked to ensure access for firefighters if we have to investigate a certain area or we are needing to do some sort of fire suppression. If you lock a door and a firefighter needs to get through that door, they will just simply use what is called forcible entry, and it's just unnecessary damage. So we don't want to break doors if we don't have to. So locking doors in a fire alarm activation is just simply a bad idea. What if somebody refuses to leave? If somebody refuses to evacuate in a fire alarm activation, you can ask them once politely that they tell them that they need to leave. If they ignore your request to leave, then you order them to evacuate. If they refuse this direct order, then you note their location, close the door behind them, and then if it's a searcher finding this person, they need to report that to the floor warden. Non-ambulatory attendants. These are people who assist others who are unable to descend the stairwells. It's important for you to pre-assign 2 attendants for every non-ambulatory coworker. In an alarm activation, the attendants should assist the non-ambulatory person to an exit stairwell. Wait at the stairwell lobby and enter the well once it is clear. If a backup occurs, they can re-enter the stairwell lobby, the hallway, as long as it's safe, and allow traffic from upper floors to pass and then re-enter the stairwell. Attendants should not attempt to carry people down the stairwell. If somebody needs to be moved, then notify building authorities, fire department, call 911. This will be handled by emergency responders. Stairwell attendants. These are people who check the stairwells for safety and ensure a smooth evacuation. You as a floor warden, in cooperation with the other wardens on your floor, should ensure that somebody is assigned to each stairwell entrance daily. The stairwell attendant in an alarm activation should immediately proceed to their assigned stairwell entrance. Check the door for heat. If the door is cool, they can open the door. If the door is hot or there is smoke present, they should direct people to alternate exits. If the stairwell is safe, they should facilitate smooth evacuation. Once the floor is clear, they should report to you the number of people sheltering in the stairwell and then exit. Messengers. These are people who can deliver messages to fire command. Which brings up the point, what is fire command anyway? Fire command is where the fire alarm panel for the building is located. This is where the incident commander for the fire department and building authority representatives will be meeting to discover the location and nature of the emergency. It is important for you to know the location of fire command. Deputy floor wardens. This is a person who can take on your role of floor warden in your absence. During an activation. Don your identifying garment. Project an air of confidence and authority. Ensure that everyone is performing their duties. Your searchers are searching, your attendants are attending. Once the floor is clear, proceed to your place of assembly and take a roll call. It can be difficult to account for everyone. Sometimes people go to the wrong floor or they decide that they're just going to exit the building and go off to other places. The critical information that the fire department wants to know is who is left on an alarmed floor, either in one of the suites or in the stairwells. Keep everybody calm and await instructions. It's important to be flexible in emergencies. Even the best floor warden with the best trained people can have wrenches thrown into the works. You may need to give last-minute directions or assignments. After any activation, it's important for you to discuss with your group what went well and ways that we can improve. So talk to your group, give them constructive criticism, and allow them to give you constructive criticism in regards to your role. What is everybody else doing at this time? Well, the fire department is responding. They're responding to fire command, meeting building authorities, sending investigating units up to whatever floor is an alarm to determine the nature and severity of the issue. Building authorities are investigating and preparing for the fire department's arrival. Some tips that will hopefully make your job a little less stressful. First of all, keep a positive attitude in regards to the life safety programs of the building. You're basically a representative of the building, so you need to make sure that you have a good positive attitude about all the aspects of the life safety programs. Stay calm. It is vital for you as an emergency leader to give a good, calm presence to the people around you. Encourage everyone to have a good pair of walking shoes available. They may have to descend several flights of stairs, and it's important to do that in shoes that are safe. Encourage cooperation and communication between all wardens, their assistants, co-workers, and building authorities. An effective leader needs support and update information, and the building authorities are there to help support you in your role as a floor warden. Encourage everyone to be prepared for the elements. If for some reason we are evacuating the building and going outside, we need to be prepared for those elements. Train as many people as possible in as many roles as possible. You want to minimize the amount of instruction you need to give during an activation, and you want to have a pool of people who are already trained to draw from if you need to give last-minute assignments. Be prepared for folders. There will be some out there. Give them a good, calm command presence to keep them calm. You also may have people who are very effective in emergencies and seem to be very calm. You can give them extra roles and responsibilities. Have your supplies accessible. A hat, vest. Earplugs are a great adjunct to a floor warden to ensure that your hearing is protected in an alarm activation. A notepad and pencil, flashlight, and keep them all in one location, maybe a handy carrying case so that you can find all these items quickly. Some tips that will hopefully make your job a little bit easier. These are things that every coworker should know. First of all, the importance of them staying calm. They need to know where their primary and secondary exits are located. They need to know the place of assembly. They should know to immediately evacuate the floor when directed. They should leave behind any bulky personal items, large purses, packs, and leave behind any beverages. Remind people that they should not be calling building authorities and asking if the alarm is real. Every alarm is real until proven otherwise. And give clear access to firefighters who may be ascending the stairwells to mitigate this emergency. Okay, well, that's it. I hope you found this presentation informative and helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the property management group. If there's any questions that I can answer, they can certainly get a hold of me. We're all here to help and support you in your role as a floor warden. And I just want to thank you for your time and attention. And that's all, folks. Take care. Be safe.